Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
Let's be real. All right, Let's Be Real Sports Podcast. Back here again with the fellas for the NFC North Division. How y'all doing?
Man, good. Happy Sunday to y'all. Happy Sunday to you.
Make sure my volume don't go out.
Yep. Good design. Good job.
All right, that's all.
God is good all the time. God is good. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, man. It's kind of, it kind of sucks. It's good. I love this division series, but kind of like, because the episode's so long, we can't slide in, some of the stuff that happened college football. But shout out to Dion yesterday. That was wild. Great game, week one. Definitely had to plug that in there. But two, if you want to discuss something real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to people who made money from that game too. But no, I just like this week showed me the importance of the real deal fantasy drafting, right? Like, especially if you got money on it, like where do you be? You can be anywhere damn near. Like, I know the homies that we got pulling up say he was at a wedding. I'm at orientation, making sure I'm drafting players to make sure the rest of my year goes as planned, because we got money on these fantasy drafts. And it really thought like, damn, this fantasy draft is really, really important to us. So I really just wanted to get y'all thoughts just real quick. I just thought it was hilarious me having my phone right here. Like, yep, making sure I get certain players I need to make sure, again, my year goes is playing, because I need this money.
So important to know to me too that like I put it not only on my calendar, but I put it on the wife's calendar as well. So you see what I'm saying? So we do this thing, right. See, check me out. So it's one thing to put it on your calendar, but it's a totally different thing to put it on their calendar as well. So to say, respect. This is my little 30, 45 minute window, for me to focus, for you essentially not to ask me shit. You feel me? So it's that important.
Yeah, communication is key. Bet. Okay. There, number one. Bet.
Okay. I got no comment.
Well, for me, like I said, my fantasy, you're doing it from the phone. I can, as long as I'm in a situation where I can still look through the players while I'm doing whatever business I'm doing. Ain't much got to get counsel. Flexibility.
It's real out here, y'all. It's real.
Yep. But as always, y'all know y'all can follow us on Twitter or X, TikTok, IG, Facebook, and LBR_media. Also subscribe and watch on YouTube. You can watch us live over here at Let's Be Real Media, or subscribe if you rather listen on audio at Let's Be Real Sports on any audio platform. Also support the other podcasts on the network. Street Hardaway be going live tomorrow morning with the gentleman on the screen, Tuke Sheedin, along with Savage, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pretty sure y'all gonna talk about Team USA in their blunder this morning. So
yes,
tune in to a live Labor Day show from the crew over there. And the Jeans support by Guy Jeans. He's not gonna be trolling about the New York Giants over there, I promise. But what to do? Let's get to our ad read from BetStamp, and we'll come back with our guest for the NFC North Division. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with the opportunity to get started or get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the simplest way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, signupexpert.com/LBR, you'll be connected to all the sportsbooks in your region, along with the review of each platform and its unique benefits. All these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users. And when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/LBR. All right, we got the full gang up in the building now. First up, starting from our bottom left, my guy Tarvis. I used to be in a bunch of big Madden leagues with him for a long time. He was just smoking me. What it do, man?
What's up with it? What's up with it, right?
Hey, following him, got my guy Justin, the last of the crew from the Black Sports Business Symposium. We had Mike, had Meg, had DJ, Chris, Danny. Now you are on. Of course, yes, YouTube channel is ItzJustJP. How you doing, my guy?
I've been good, man. I've been happy for y'all's success too as well. Congratulations. I love y'all's show and content. So I'm just awesome and just glad to be here. Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it. Next up, y'all should recognize him. He was on here last year for our NFC North Division breakdown. Host of the Fellas Present Sports Rap Podcast, C. Henry. How you doing?
What's up, fellas, man? Glad to be back, man. Love the show, man. And I'm really, really happy to talk positively about my Lions this year, man.
This is
I'm with you, Steve.
I don't know why all the other master is here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm with you,
Steve. We're going to chop it up.
Oh, man. But last but not least, my guy, go back to college days and me too, Cooper in the record all the time. Will, how you doing, man? On mute.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. I hope y'all all right.
Definitely. Glad you got to get a chance to come join us for this packed episode. But
I'm loving the show too, man. Y'all doing y'all thing.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right. So without further ado, getting started. Man, Entrée, everyone knows we're doing this since late July on this division series. We only got one division left, so it's the NFC North. Then we do NFC West this upcoming Wednesday, and the NFL starts Thursday with, if you see Hen's background, with the Lions and the Chiefs. But man, Entrée, have each guy go represent their team, pretty much tell us what the team is did this offseason, what y'all expect from the team. Then the guys will have questions, and anybody, any of y'all can have questions for each other as well if y'all have questions after they're done speaking. So first up, Justin, the division winners last year, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and we're probably going to win the NFC North title Division 2 this year. But they had a really interesting offseason, really good offseason. They released like a lot of good players like Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen, and they released a lot of defensive players after the defense was horrible last year in terms of the defensive stars. Only 5 returning this year. They signed Marcus Davenport for the Saints, a premium pass rusher. They signed Byron Murphy Jr. from the Arizona Cardinals. He got a lot to prove this year in terms of him in the cornerback position. Hopefully he can stay healthy. We look really healthy coming out of training camp. We only had like one player in injury reserve, and that's our third-string running back. But the expectations in terms of the Minnesota Vikings, they just signed TJ Hockenson or extended his contract to $68 million worth 4 years. The next step is try to get Justin Jefferson in terms of his contract extension. They are afraid of losing him, but look like there's positive vibes with Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings. Expectations, the offense is going to be really good. They're top 10 offense last year, with the person underneath the center, Kirk Cousins, who's the best quarterback in the NFC North. And then you have running back in Alexander Madison, who has a solid production within his stint with the Minnesota Vikings. Had a yard, he led in yards per rush ahead of Dalvin Cook. Justin Jefferson, probably the best receiver in the NFL, breaking all records and stuff that you haven't seen since Randy Moss coming into the league. You also got KJ Osborne, who's going to be a pretty good wide receiver. And then you have TJ Hockenson, who's really good, who really stepped up last year in his contract situation. 60 catches, 500-something yards, 3 touchdowns. Looked really good against the Giants in the playoffs, even though we lost. but he's going to be a really good force. Josh Oliver backing him up in the tight end position. Added Jordan Addison, who's going to be really good for the Vikings this year in terms of offense. They're probably going to do more passing than running. The only question I have is the defense. The defense was putrid last year, second to last in the NFL in terms of just, defensive allowed and the fourth most points allowed. So they kind of changed it up. They added Brian Flores as the defensive coordinator. He definitely proved a lot. He was, with the Patriots in the Super Bowls. And him and Kevin McConnell had history together. Kevin McConnell was a quarterback for the Patriots. Brian Flores was a scout. And so they have history together. They got Daniel Hunter, who they restructured his contract. And then you lead in with Harrison Smith, one of the best safeties in the NFL. So they're going to do like a 3-4 type of defense, and it's probably going to be a lot of aggressive pass rush and all that coming from Daniel Hunter to Marcus Davenport, a lot of other players too. So our defense could be very improving because Brian Flores had back-to-back seasons as a head coach, and his pass rush is one of the top 10 in the NFL. So our defense is going to be a lot better with him leading the charge. And then one thing that was very interesting regarding Kirk Cousins is that the play caller again is going to be Kevin O'Connell. It's going to be this first time that Kirk Cousins is going to have the same play caller 2 straight years throughout his departure with the Minnesota Vikings. He always had different play callers each year. So I expect big things for the Vikings. Hopefully it doesn't go into the one-score possession of being 11-0. Hopefully we can have like a little nice lead. But, we've always been like a comeback team. They work really hard. And I feel like the only competition is the Detroit Lions, which you'll get into. But I think the NFC North is going to go to the Vikings again this year.
Questions?
Yeah, I have a question, and I think I'm speaking for everybody on the Let's Be Real podcast when I ask this question. How good is Harrison Smith? Before you answer, Harrison Smith has been brought up on this podcast plenty of times, and I think you called him out when you said that he's one of the best safeties in the league. He may be that, but again, speaking for everybody on this podcast, I don't see that, and I don't think anybody else does either. So can you sell me on Harrison Smith? Where do you rank him amongst the best safeties in the league?
I think he's top 10. I think there's like a lot of expectations in terms of what a safety is. Is he going to be like a hitman? Is he going to be the guy that's going to catch? Is he going to cover the field? He's one of the best hitters in the NFL. He made it in the top 100 best players of 2023 for a lot of reasons, from the players respecting him. So he's like a hitman. He's able to, like, if we are in trouble and all that, I think Harrison Smith will always kind of, make sure that we don't get in trouble a lot. Hopefully he stays healthy. But I mean, like I said, our defense was putrid last year, and I guess he was just kind of down and out in the box and all that. We released Eric Kendricks too as well. I forgot to mention that. But I think it's going to be a difference with Harrison Smith this year. I think you're going to hear a lot of good things with Harrison Smith in terms of how he's going to produce defensively, and hopefully I think he's top 10 in the NFL, but I'm not saying he's going to be the best safety out there. I think he's one of the best, though, because he's much respected in the NFL by a lot of players.
Good answer.
I actually got a couple questions. Because I actually rock with Kirk Cousins. Yeah, the fellas know how I rock with y'all. So bear with. So bear with me on this one. It may be a little loaded, but it'll come back around. So one thing that I think is gonna hurt y'all is the chemistry in y'all locker room. Losing Adam Thielen, losing Dalvin Cook, and then you got an older quarterback with Kirk Cousins and Matt Stafford's wife, who was on interviews talking about how he was going to practice, and then afterwards the young players would be on their phones and shit like that, and how it would sometimes affect him because he's older and everything like that. So I say, because y'all locker room is a lot younger than what it was last year, do you think it'll play y'all chemistry as to coming into this season and trying to repeat?
I mean, there's expectations there because, we won the NFC North title last year. And then, we released a lot of, veteran players. And, we're trying to get younger and more aggressive, too, as well. Try to keep, consistent in terms of just trying to be one of the best teams in NFL. So, yeah, I mean, the chemistry is always going to be a question and all that, like how long the chemistry will last, or like Is they going to have the chemistry by week 1? Are they all in the middle of the season? So there's always questions regarding about it. But, with Kirk Cousins, he's a leader, and a lot of people really respecting him with the Minnesota Vikings. So he's going to leave this team. And then you also got some other, some other veteran players. But, chemistry, if they're able to just win games and be all in and play their roles, I think chemistry doesn't really hurt if they just be all in terms of the game. So I think, that chemistry is always the question, but I feel like, with this young team and all that, I feel like they got a lot of things to prove this year.
And question number 2, because you actually brought in all in. Me and the fellas, we doing our fantasy draft tomorrow. And one player that I've had circled, I'm telling one of my secrets, is Madison. Dalvin Cook, 17 games, 1,200 yards. Up over under. I need to know.
Alexander Madison, he proves a lot as a solid running back and all that. He's a less physical, less explosive of Dalvin Cook and all that. And people thought Dalvin Cook was much of a loss. Even Stephen A was like, "Oh my God, they got rid of Dalvin Cook." That's bad for the Vikings. But if you just watch the games and all that, Madison's he proved a lot for the Vikings. So I would say you probably go over with that, because I feel like he's going to be one of those running backs that's going to be really productive. And a lot of it's not going to be focused on him. They're going to focus on more of the passing ability and all that, but he's still going to bring a lot to the table. Like I said, he was the leader of the Vikings in terms of yards per rush, more than Dalvin Cook himself.
All right. Any more questions?
I was just making sure too didn't have no more questions. No. It's the Vikings. Kirk Cousins.
Yes, sir. Cousin.
He don't like prime time. Can you help us out? Why he don't like to win in primetime games?
I can't really tell you the answer with that, because that's been my frustration with Kirk Cousins. It's like he's a really good, solid quarterback. He's top 10 quarterback, but he just doesn't win in primetime games. I just don't really understand why he doesn't win in primetime games. I don't know if it's just one bad game for him, or he's just so inconsistent and all. I really can't explain it. Look, I had to fight other people. When he came in, I was like, why are we getting Kirk Cousins? Why are we giving him $84 million? He can't win primetime games. I think that's just him in general. Could he prove something this year in terms of winning primetime games? Hopefully, but I don't really know. I think it's just him. He's just kind of just allergic just to NBC or something. I don't know what NBC be putting in his food. He's just so allergic to primetime games. I don't understand, but he still gives us a really good value in terms of production, in terms of passing yards and touchdowns too as well. So I don't know. I really do not. I don't know the answer.
Yeah, and you brought me up to another question. Hold on, Scott. Give me 1 second. All the playoffs gonna be in prime time. By the way,
Kirk Cousins answered that question on the Netflix documentary.
I didn't see it. Was that the BS documentary?
No.
Okay, my fault. It wasn't that one.
It was the one called quarterback. They lose, they're all playing good teams. So, I guess that's his excuse. We can beat the bad teams, but not the good teams. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what he said out his own mouth.
Well, that's their quarterback. Speaking of quarterback, you say he's a top 10 quarterback. Where do you rank him as a quarterback?
I'm not saying that he's like a Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen type of quarterback, even Jalen Hurts. He'll probably be in that 6 to 10 range. I don't really know exactly. He's a little bit better than Dak Prescott. I would say that for sure. So, because Dak Prescott was number 9 in terms of the top 10. I feel like Kirk Cousins could be 7 or 8.
I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'll be the person to tell you.
Kirk Cousins is a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
There we go.
He's number 7. Top 7.
I draft him every year in fantasy. I ain't gonna lie.
Top 7.
Hey, Kirk Cousins can he'll surprise a lot of people. That's the one thing I like about Kirk Cousins is as much as people just don't like him and stuff, he surprised a lot of people with his play. And seeing him at number 42 in top 100 players of 2023, he was number 99 from a previous season, and then last year he was number 42. So there's a lot of expectation for Kirk Cousins. He's going to be better, and you're going to be seeing more of the change too as well, and the dancing of Kirk Cousins when he be winning them games. So
Hey, long as he stay off the grill.
Hey, rake out receiving core real quick. Y'all top 5 receiving, top 10, number 1. You think they do number 1?
Nigga said they only got one.
There's only one receiver, and that's Justin Jefferson, though. And like I said,
y'all just pay him like he number 1, so he gonna have to do number 1 something, right?
I mean, he's like, with just his production alone and all that, and then you also got TJ Hawkinson too as well. They could be, these top 10, but I don't know how I could rank it in terms of like if he's like number 4, number 5. I don't really know, but he's definitely top 10 because of his production alone, and also TJ Hawkinson in terms of his production. We don't really know a lot of Jordan Addison yet, so we have to see what he brings to the table this year since he's only a rookie. And then KJ Osborne, we'll see what he does this year, since Adam Thielen is gone, and we'll see how they're going to do this year.
That's funny. All right, any more questions?
I got one question, man. Last year Minnesota was very, very lucky. I think they won.
Lucky. Hold on. You said they were lucky?
They were lucky. I think they won either 5 or 8 games by 1 score.
11.
11-0. 11-0. I mean, we beat a good Buffalo team last year, so 11-0.
Do you expect that type of success this year?
I think so. Like the thing that kind of killed it with the 11-0. The offense was there, and then we hit like field goals, but it was the defense. The defense was putrid last year. Like I said, we were second to last in the NFL. Our defense was awful. So with an improved defense this year and a better defensive coordinator, because Ed Donatel, I don't know what the hell he was doing last season. I'm glad they fired him. So with Brian Flores coming to charge, I feel like it's going to be a much improved defense. So if it happens again with a 1-score victory, I don't think it's going to happen again. But I feel like we'll much improve, and we probably could win by like a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, depending on the team we face.
So that defense, real quick, that defense you say improved. Now y'all lost Patrick Peterson, y'all lost Eric Kendricks.
Zadarius.
Is it Smith? Who were upgrades to these guys?
I guess
they on your ass now.
We was getting. We're getting.
I ain't seen drafted. I ain't seen signed in free agency or nothing. I just need some names.
Hey, Daniel Hunter's still a beast. Marcus Davenport, I got a lot of faith in him. Byron Murphy Jr.
Putrid defense, though, right?
No, like we added Marcus Davenport and Byron Murphy this season. Last year, we added them this season. I feel like they're going to be really good assets for the Vikings defense and all that. And then we only got like 5 returning starters: Cam Bynum, Harrison Smith, Daniel Hunter, Jordan Hicks, who's an improved linebacker, and then I forgot the other person that was starting last season. I forgot his name, but I feel like we're younger and we're more aggressive, and Brian Flores is going to do a really good job this season. Like I said, we're winning back-to-back seasons with the Miami Dolphins, and then had one of the best pass rush defenses in the NFL. So. With Brian Flores in charge, I feel like the Vikings is going to improve. They're going to be more physical. They're going to go after it this year.
Only thing I would say y'all did get Murphy and Davenport, but I wouldn't say that those two will be the upgrade over Patrick Peterson and Zadarius Smith. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say.
Was Zadarius Smith wanted out of Minnesota last season? And I totally understand, it was an awful defense and all that. Like I said, I'm glad they got rid of Ed Donatel and all. Patrick Peterson, that was a loss, though, a veteran quarterback that provides a lot, in terms of experience for the Vikings. But with our GM, he wants to go a lot younger, like I said, and then they went and clean house. Eric Kendricks, who is a top 100 player, we've got rid of him. They probably see something that we don't. Who knows? But I know that defense is going to be a lot better than it was last season. And like I said, a lot of expectations. I don't have like a lot of expectations on the offense because I know how the offense is going to do good. The defense, I feel like they got a lot of things to prove, and then they are filled with motivation that they were putrid last year, and I feel like they're going to improve a lot this year.
Respect. All right. For the Vikings, on to Green Bay Packers. Tarvis.
Well, during the offseason, everybody know, we finally, got rid of A-Rod, so we traded. We really. What you laughing at?
No, go ahead.
Thank God you got rid of Aaron Rodgers. Thank God.
Starting the youth movement, drafted, some young guys. Edge, we got Lucas Van Ness, and then we drafted the tight end. So we really trying to start a youth movement, but overall, I feel like that even though we're going young, we really gonna see Matt LaFleur what he really about as far as his coaching, because everybody says Aaron Rodgers ran the team, and we ran Aaron Rodgers' offense, and now we really gonna see what LaFleur is made of. I feel like our defense can improve. Like everybody love to say the stat, they got 9-10 first-round draft picks on defense. A first-round draft pick is just where you drafted. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good player or a great player. So we got a lot of players who got a chip on their shoulder, and everybody should be motivated because everybody's writing us off. Hey, Rod, you had a bad year last year. So, I guess we really going to see what we really made of,
I have a question.
I have a question, but go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to know, because I don't even know any Green Bay Packers fans. How do you honestly feel about Aaron Rodgers leaving? Like, outside looking in, not even a fan of anybody from Green Bay, don't even like the colors or whatever. But like for somebody, like, how do you feel about like losing Aaron Rodgers or him leaving? Is it one of those that like, I'm happy he's gone and I'm glad we're moving in a different direction, or he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and so I'm a little worried about production after him? So how do you feel?
Quite naturally, I will say that me personally, I was kind of hurt to see him go because, quite naturally, this is my favorite player of all time. But I understand how the organization wanted to start a youth movement, and they felt like, even I feel like that his play dropped off last year. But we started off like 4-1, and on that game when we lost in England to the Giants, on that Hail Mary, Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. So he played the majority of the season with a broken thumb. So even though he didn't have his best year last year, all of that is, we're not going to make excuses, but he was hurt, So, I guess the higher-ups, they felt like it was time for a change. We got a first-round pick and a conditional first. Now, we got a second-round pick this year and a conditional first or second-round pick next year. So, really, that's all you can, hope for. Hopefully, I want Aaron to do good, but hopefully the Jets suck and we get a good pick. He plays 65% of the snaps, and we go from there.
Respect.
What's your faith in Jordan Love coming up this season? I know he had a really good game in Indy last season. What is y'all's trust in Jordan Love this season?
Nah, not Indy. We you talking about that game when he came
Philly.
in Eagles. Yeah.
Philly. Yeah, I meant Philly. I'm sorry. Philly. Yes.
All good. Man, he had a great preseason, but everybody know preseason not the real season. So it's hard for me to, have true expectations of what to expect from him, because when the defenses are vanilla and yada, 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 it's easy to make those little check down throws and, he threw a couple bombs, they got swatted or, but until you hit the real game when it's actual defensive scheming and game planning against your strengths and weaknesses, you never really know what to expect. So I'd be lying if I tell you, I expect this. I don't know. We gonna see come Sunday. I tell you that though.
Hey, so I got one. Do you expect? So let's say Jordan Love ends up being good, right? Do you expect the league to follow y'all path of having a quarterback, having Brett Favre, draft Aaron Rodgers 6 years, he come in, have a great career, trade him away. You draft Jordan Love. He sit for I think 3 or 4 years. Now he comes out to be good. Do you feel like the NFL will start shifting towards actually being more patient with quarterbacks, or do you think it'll be the same old status quo?
Nah, I think it's gonna still be the same old status quo. I really feel like, honestly, it's all a little luck involved in all of this stuff. Like even like with the team you go to, the system, the coaches, I always feel like it's luck. Like even if Love is good, there'll still be people that'll say, well, if we would have never traded up to get Love and drafted T. Higgins, we might have a Super Bowl right now. T. Higgins got picked at the top of the second round. If we had T. Higgins and Devontae Adams for a couple years, I like our chances. You get what I'm saying? Versus Lazard or Valdez Scantling or one of those guys. No disrespect to them, but so it's really no exact science. I think because Aaron Rodgers was projected to go like at the top of the draft. He fell all the way to 24. So they created an extra chip on his shoulder. You get what I'm saying? So it's all just, if he's good, I'll be happy. But I don't think it's gonna really change nothing. When them GMs and owners draft them quarterbacks, they want them to play. That's how it is now.
And to your point, P. Sharp, real quick, I think it really depends on the team. I think when you look at Green Bay and the last 2 times they've drafted a quarterback, they've been in a position where they were already having success. So they didn't need that guy to come in right away and play for them. I think that's a luxury. When you have a luxury pick like that, you're already having success. You already have an established starter who can keep you in the playoff hunt in the Super Bowl as a Super Bowl contender, and you can go draft a guy at the end of the first round and let him sit for a couple years and get better. I think that's really, really a luxury. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Jordan Love, he has a lot of physical talent, and he's had a chance to sit behind an all-time great. For 3 years, it's kind of hard for me to see him not picking up some of the game that Aaron had, and also being somebody that Matt LaFleur has had a chance to kind of mold in his own image. You know what I mean? And get his guy for his offense that he wants to run it. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Jordan Love does this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like you said, like he's been in the same system since he got into the NFL the whole time. So he should have, everything down packed as far as language, signals, all of the things that you need as a quarterback in order to make yourself successful. We just need these weapons on the outside to grow and mature. And Christian Watson had their breakout towards the end of last season. Everybody was hyping up Romeo Doubs even last year before Christian Watson. And I think he actually played well. He just got hurt. Then Watson got hurt. We never really got to see both of them together. And now we got this big tight end, Luke Musgrave. They saying, the hype is real on him. So if you got those kind of weapons, with any quarterback, you can be a game manager and just get the ball in their hands and let them move, and you can go from there.
Question.
I got actually a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
And they kind of tie into together. The first one is, in this league of pass first, you got to be able to throw the ball. You're saying running backs pretty much ain't shit now, even though the running backs gonna get the ball. And y'all had 2 successful running backs last season. Do you think that same kind of mentality will have success in this season? And if not, question number 2, which kind of ties into it, what receiver do you think will have 1,000 yards?
Okay, so I'm gonna tackle the first part first. As far as like the running, I think that the league has created that narrative because running backs, they take so many hits, and you really don't get to see them past 28, 29, 30, whereas some receivers, they can play past that. So by us having this two-headed monster at running back, I think that's really going to help Jordan Love with all of the play action and, all of that comes off of that. Like, we got to remember Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, all of them are running the same offense, just different versions of it, So if you got this strong running game, that can only help you when you dressing the pass game and the play action to look the same exact way, and you getting those crosses and deep ends and skinny posts behind the linebacker. And as far as like 1,000 yards, me personally, I think Christian Watson is more of a big play threat, but I actually think Romeo Doubs is the guy who will be more so dependent on by Love as far as like to keep the chains moving, to do everything. You know, I think Watson is more of a deep threat, jet sweep, reverse, you know, stuff like that because of his speed. Whereas Dobbs is more of a precise route runner and catches the ball better with his hands and things of that nature.
Appreciate that.
And speaking about pass first offense or just a lot of passing in the league, the Packers aren't talked well enough about their corners. Can you talk some more about how good your corners really are at Green Bay?
I mean, I think we got one of the best tandems in the league when you talk about Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas. You know, I think last year our defensive coordinator Joe Barry had our players playing off coverage so much, and that's not really their game. You know, both of them, and as well as our guy who's hurt right now, Eric Stokes, we like to play press coverage. So it was a lot of situations where they're playing so far off, and that really isn't their game. So if they're allowed to play their game, like when we played Justin Jefferson week 17 last year, Jair was in his face jamming him all game. So if they're allowed to play like that, which the reports out of the training camp is that, you know, that these guys have let it be known, hey, this is how we want to play. So if these guys are able to get in the receiver's face, jam them, throw off the timing on these routes, I think they'll be successful. That's really the strength of our defense, our corners, because it's not safety. And, you know, linebackers, you know, Quay Walker, he got to get his, you know, his thoughts under control so he don't get ejected and his temper under control. And D-line, you know, we got Kenny Clark, but the rest of those guys are really inexperienced. I think we got to lead.
Yeah, and if I can answer that, she's a good question because I feel like the Green Bay Packers, name, if you're looking at their depth chart, has probably one of the better defensive minded teams. I just feel like their execution or they just weren't prepared in quite a few games. And I just feel like damn, like they have a really good defense. It just didn't show on the field, or there were times they would get really exposed. So actually, really good question, Sheedy, and really good answer by you on that one.
My next question. So Jonathan Taylor trade, y'all put y'all name in the hat for that. Do you think that was just smoke, or do you think that y'all, you know, trade that he still can get traded by trade deadline? Do you think there's something y'all still would potentially pursue, or you think it was just smoke?
Nah, I mean, you know, our GM, like when he talks, you know, he always tries to be coy and, you know, well, you know, we just have to do our due diligence and yada yada yada. But in reality, if that's what's being reported, you know, he can't, like he always said, well, I can't comment on another team's player. But I definitely think we were in those talks, and the rumor was they was trying to trade AJ Dillon and a pick to get Jonathan Taylor. And that way you can have even better two-headed monster when you're talking about.
That would have been nasty.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones.
Dangerous.
Like, you talking about, you know, like I'm gonna borrow my boy phrases, like top 10. Like you talking about 2 top 10 running backs. Like, no. Kirk Cousins top. No. We talking top 10 for real. You know, Aaron Jones. It's the bottom of the top 10, but he in there as far as catching, running, like he can do all of this. So, I mean, and then you know he went to Wisconsin too, so he would have been a fan favorite coming in. But nah, you know the coach, they not really trying to trade him. They just, you know, I don't know what they're doing, but I would have loved to see them in green and gold.
Cool. Any more questions? All right. Before we get to the next team, we actually got a new sponsor, SeatGeek. So I played that ad read, then we'll get back with the Chicago Bears.
SeatGeek is the ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. When you use our code LBR Media, you will get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek scores each ticket selection 0 to 10 to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Click the link in the description to download the app, and remember our code LBR Media for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek, your route to high quality ticket selection.
All right, back again. Will, how about the Bears?
First off, I'm gonna kind of recap last season, I want to say, like from a fan perspective, that was probably the most exciting 3-14 season I've ever seen in my life. From the standpoint of there was a lot of flash plays coming from QB1. It wasn't pretty when you just look at the stats for face value. So I'm gonna kind of go over some of that and then kind of get into what I think this year and the future is gonna be like. So first off, offensively speaking, we were 19th in total point scoring. So, you know, you win 3 games, you wouldn't think the offense would be ranked that high. That kind of jumped out to me. We led the league in rushing. Our quarterback had 1,143 yards rushing. Yeah, 1,143 yards rushing with 8 touchdowns. That's nothing to sneeze at. Although with that being said, we ranked 30th in first downs. So a lot of the offense was feast or famine. It was either going to be a 50-yard bomb, Justin Field break loose for 60, or a punt. So it's really dangerous to kind of live like that in the football game. We allowed 55 sacks, which is the 4th most in the league. So if you ask me in the middle of last year what kind of stood out to me, what was the problem with the team, it was 2 things. It was the wide receivers offensively and our offensive line. I mean, it was like they were having a foot race to Justin. I remember it was one game, he got hit so hard, you thought he was out cold. He damn near threw a touchdown pass. So that's one of the things that going into the offseason, I kind of looked at our new GM, Ryan Poles, to kind of fix was, you know, tighten up the receiving core, tighten up the line as far as the offense is concerned. And then my last thing that I have as far as the offensive side of the ball, or like a team building perspective, is we, throughout all of that stupidity, we had the number one amount of cap space going into this summer. And so through all the rebuilding, everything that Ryan Poles added, right now we still rank 8th in cap space. So if we need to make a move, we still can make a move. I kind of like what we have right now, but that's good to know that based on how the season shakes out, I kind of want them to kind of take a look at Chris Jones, hint, hint, wink, wink, as far as a move that could be made to really bolster our team. Defensively pissed me off more than anything last year. If you know anything about Chicago Bears, with the monster of the Midway, the one thing that we hang our hat on is always having a good defense. And man, this was probably the worst defense I've seen since Mel Tucker was our defensive coordinator. When Tom Brady scored 50 on us in 1 week, and then the next week Aaron Rodgers did it in Green Bay. So yeah, 32 in points allowed, piss poor. We ranked damn near dead last in rushing, which was 31st. Our pass defense was mid. It was 18th, which considering with no pass rush, no run stoppability, the corners had to cover a lot and the safeties had to do a lot of tackling. We ranked 29th in total yards allowed. So the defense was, like I said, was really bad as a whole. We allowed 56 touchdowns, 31 rushing, 22 passing, 1 return touchdown, and 2, pick sixes or fumble returns. I think Justin did throw a pick six, and I think they returned a fumble for a touchdown. You can kind of fact check me on that. Like I said, as far as our quarterback, 2,242 yards passing, a 60% completion percentage, which guys being under duress like that for the entirety of the season and playing through injuries, I think that's pretty good. I think his bar is really high if they give him what he needs to be successful. He has 17 passing touchdowns, 11 picks, and considering the circumstances, the interceptions, in my opinion, he can kind of come down on them. But I think considering where he was at, I think that's not bad. I would like to see him maybe whittle off 3 or 4 of them and add some more touchdowns for that. And overall, they gave him an 85 quarterback rating, 85.2 pass rating. I'm sorry. The reason why I said our offense was so bad, the leading receiver on the team had 544 yards, and it was Cole Kmet, who actually showed he was worth the pick that they spent on him, which I was shocked by that. Mooney was dealt with some injuries, and he was second in receiving, I think 493 yards receiving. I had to go back and check on that one. The thing that really is kind of embarrassing as far as the defense is concerned, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bears like that, but we had a rookie by the name of Jaquan Brisk led the team in sacks with 4. He's a DB. That's embarrassing. No pass rush whatsoever. It's non-existent. Now, when you have a guy who broke the team's Richard Dent sack record last year, when you trade him to the team that goes to the Super Bowl same season, when you let go a Hall of Fame, all pro at 2 positions, defensive end by the name of Khalil Mack, go to the LA Chargers, the pass rush is non-existent. So I was kind of curious to see, what Ryan Poles will do this offseason. So the pressure was on. We had high draft picks. I'm kind of upset that we didn't take Jalen Carter, who's supposed to be like the next Aaron Donald, really high prospect. They say he's whooping tail in camp. So I'm kind of upset about that. But we did get Darnell Wright from the Vols. He's supposed to be a great fit for our scheme from Luke Getsy. He's very strong, very athletic. He struggles with speed rushing because he's not athletic laterally speaking. Like he suffers with his lateral quickness. So more than likely he's gonna probably play right tackle on the offensive line. He went 10th in the draft. The next big standout draft pick that we had was in the second round, 53rd overall. We got Javon Dexter from Florida, big fella. He's a really good guy. He's a freak athlete at the defensive tackle position. But what scared GMs and coaches away was the fact that his motor is kind of inconsistent. Kind of think how Randy Moss used to be like. He just decided when he wanted to play hard. When he wanted to play hard, it's 6 all day. When he just didn't care, you probably wouldn't really see him on, see him in the highlight tapes that much that game. So that's what kind of scares Bears fans, the reporters and things of that nature, is we don't necessarily know how hard Dexter's going to play, but he has all the tools to be a star. So Dexter will be playing behind Justin Jones and playing behind one of our free agents this is Andrew Billings from the Raiders, who's supposed to be a run stopping D tackle to kind of help shore up our run defense. Another draft pick that we got was Tyrese Stevenson from the U. Solid corner. I think he started 2 years in college, has all the tools to be great. They just have to kind of clean up his technique. He's supposed to play, I think, a little bit of nickel to kind of help Kyler Gordon, but he may even start opposite of Jaquan Johnson on the outside. So that's something we watch out for. He may be in some defensive rookie of the year conversations if he gets his stuff together. Another great draft pick that we had was Zach Pickens. And Zach Pickens has been doing really well in camp. He's been giving the offensive line hell all practice. He can control the line of scrimmage. He's a very explosive one-gap defender. And then I can't leave off Rashawn Johnson from Texas. Everybody knows about Bijan. We all know Bijan's supposed to be lights out, but Rashawn Johnson was his number 2. And the only reason why a lot of teams kind of slept on Rashawn Johnson is because, look what Bijan had did. But he's a do-it-all back. He runs tough. He's a very powerful back. He run your ass over if you get in front of him. But the thing that really stands out to us Bears fans, kind of to what I spoke to earlier, he's a hell of a pass blocker. He's better than Foreman and our returning back Khalil Herbert. What they struggle at, he's strong at. So he made them steal some snaps from those guys. That kind of rounds out our draft picks that we added. Some key additions. Tev, I'm sorry. I appreciate y'all giving us DJ Moore. I don't know. I was at the game when he took that screen to the house. I was there. I was at Soldier Field. So I appreciate you for that. So obviously, we got.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
We got DJ Moore. We got Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edwards from the Bills. TJ Edwards from the Eagles. We got Nate Davis to kind of help out our offensive line from the Eagles. I'm sorry, from the Titans. Thank you, thank you, Parrish. Like I said, Andrew Billings. We got the deep tackle from the Raiders. We had a really good year last year. The only thing that kind of scares me is that, when guys ball out and they're on a one-year deal or like they're in the last year of their contract, it really scares me because you don't know if that's real. Like they're hungry. So the good thing is the Bears didn't sign a lot of these guys to long-term deals. So if they come in BSing, I'm sure Ryan Poles do what he has to do to get rid of them. We got Robert Tonyan from Green Bay, who's going to help Kmet in the blocking and the pass catching game. I really like the Tonyan addition. I'm sorry about that, man. I really am. We got Robert Tonyan.
You don't like it too much.
Hey, us fantasy warriors, I'm going to tell you, this guy right here, Dante Foreman, won me a lot of fantasy games last year. So, again, thank you, Steve. I appreciate y'all just making us y'all, second home for your former pounds that can play. I appreciate that. Thank you. We got DeMarcus Walker from the Titans, a really strong DN. I really like him because, like I said, we had little to no pass rush, and so our corners had to cover all day. So teams were throwing parties on us. I don't know if you guys saw the Minnesota game, the very first one. I think Cousins threw like 22 straight completions, and Justin Jefferson damn near had a game worth of yards in the first quarter of the game. It was embarrassing. So those are kind of some of our key additions. Now, question marks that I have, and also I think some fans have for the Bears. What's Fields going to look like as a passer? This is not, I think, his third year as a starter, if I'm not mistaken. Has he mastered the intermediate game? We know he has a cannon for an arm, but can he master his checkdowns and his intermediate reads? The rushing defense, did Ryan Poles do enough to address the defensive line? I think our linebackers are top notch. I think we have one of the best linebacking corps in the league. And I also like the fact that we kept Sanborn. I was a little nervous after we let Roquan go because I really like Roquan, but you can kind of tell the contract situation made him kind of fit on the team. So Sanborn stepped in and he showed out. So I'm really looking forward to see how he pairs up with Edmonds as well as Edwards. Also, another question that we have is the secondary. Are we gonna get the real Eddie Jackson like we got last year, or are we gonna get the toward the end of Matt Nagy tenure Jackson? Like which Jackson's gonna show up, and is Jalen Jackson gonna show up and be the lockdown corner, and we all know no one loves him to be over here in Bears Nation. So that's some of the questions that I have. What are we strong at? The running game, top notch. We got 4 really good running backs. They can do it all. They can run between the tackles. They can run outside. They can pass catch. I would say Homer and Roshan are kind of better blockers, pass blockers, which that's what we need. Then Khalil Herbert and Foreman, but they can do it all. So I'm really excited about our rushing attack. And we all know Fields, how he can get down the field pressures out. Y'all see it. Y'all already know. And then Fields, I got him on here twice as a question mark and a strength. We know the big playability. We know he got a cannon for an arm. We know he can use his legs. So I like the fact that he's on our team. We don't have to game plan against him. And then I also put our linebacking core as another strength of the team. And same thing, with us having a 19th ranked pass defense with little to no pass rush, I really like the fact that our secondary is pretty strong and they're young as well. If you ask me our projected win total, I'm going to say the floor for the team is about 7 wins. I think the Bears are going to be a really sneaky good team and beat a lot of teams that on paper we shouldn't beat. I think the ceiling ideally would be 10 plus, still a division. But if you ask me the truth, non-fandom, I think Detroit on paper should win the division, if not be second. We should finish somewhere between second and third in the division, from my perspective. So that's what I have for the Bears report. Bear down, everybody.
Question. Regarding the receiving core, you got DJ Moore. That was a great move. And then you also got Chase Claypool. I'm wondering how that dynamic pairing of them two is going to work in terms of the chemistry. What do you think the chemistry is going to be with DJ Moore and Chase Claypool with Justin Fields running the charge for the Bills?
So, in my opinion, I think we probably have the second best receiving core in the division behind Detroit. Detroit has a nasty receiving core. Like, people just have no idea what they have in Detroit as far as the receivers are concerned. But I think the chemistry will be fine. All the reports out of camp is Claypool's kicking ass. Like, they say he's hard to deal with in the red zone. You seen in the preseason, I think DJ Moore led the league in yak or something like that, and he only had 2 touchdown catches. So, that's showing you kind of like what's going to happen in the regular season, in my opinion. So the receivers are doing really good. Darnell Mooney's hungry. He's healthy. He says he wants to be a Bear for life. So I really like our receiving core. I'm a kind of like a Kmet, kind of on the fence about Kmet, but he showed me last year that he's tough. He wants to be good. So the sky's the limit for the receiving core, in my opinion, especially as far as chemistry. I think they'll be fine.
Hey, I do got to step in and talk about the homie DJ Moore, man. I got a personal love for DJ Moore. I actually put up to a Panthers fan club thing one night, and he had like the securities around him and shit like that. I was like, "Yo, DJ, let me get a pic, bro." He was like, "Come on, homie." So I was like, "Damn,
that's what's up."
Real, like he real
Nice.
deal. But as far as like
Nice.
on the Panthers, bro, he's easily one of my favorite Panthers. And once I saw we traded him, it hurt, but I understood why. One thing about DJ Moore is, still throughout his career, I haven't been able to tell if he's a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2. But that's not because of him. It's not because of him. It's because, 1, we've had 7,000 quarterbacks over the last 3 years. And for 2, we finally got rid of McCaffrey, who we gave the ball to at every other play. So it's like, from what I saw and what I'm expecting, what you saying as far as the best receiving core in the conference, or not the conference, in the division, I think it can be number 1, because I think we get a chance to actually see DJ Moore explode. A lot of people were talking about the sacks last season and him running. Who was he throwing the damn ball to?
Man,
now
you preach to the choir.
You got somebody that literally can lead the words and the lead the yards and yak. You just got to give him the ball and let him go.
Right.
So I'm excited for that.
I would just say, as far as the receivers, like, I'm glad we got a Vikings fan, here, because they gave us a double agent, when we played them earlier in the season. They fumbled the last play of the game to win the game. So I'm really heated about this. So I'm glad that they're blowing off the team and got some real receivers now. Because I really thought Dante Pettis, Smith Marset, man, they was some double agents, bro. I really feel like they was playing for the team a lot of different times, man. Like, Ray was selling real hard. So I'm really
sorry to cut you off, but you do got to be careful at the end of games with DJ Moore as well.
Yeah. I will say,
he will cost you a game, literally.
When he took his helmet off, my God.
That literally stopped us from making the playoffs.
It did, but the catch, bro. I mean, you got to give the catch was nasty.
Bro.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. Like you said, you think y'all should finish second or third in the division. Hey, nobody thinks they're gonna finish last in the division. So who think they're gonna finish?
It's
last?
coming. It's coming. I can't wait. It's coming. Hold on. Don't answer that yet. We got one more. Don't answer that.
You've been saying we're not gonna win 5 games. I've been saying that online. I'm like, how? What football are you watching? Like we damn near won every game that we lost. Most games was won. The Vikings lost. We damn near beat Philadelphia. We damn near beat Atlanta. Like that's right there. That's 3 wins off top of all the other ones. The Washington Commanders game, we lost at the 1-yard line because the referee said that Mooney wasn't in. I felt like he was in. Everybody in Chicago obviously thought he was in. Those are the things that if they go another way, we're not picking first in the draft last draft. So yeah, I definitely think that we're gonna be better than that.
Those are the things that make a team 3-14, 3-14.
Right, like, exactly. That's why I think we're gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Yeah, the record don't indicate how good that the team actually is.
Yeah, because almost every NFL game be close.
Yeah,
it's hard to go else.
Like that's like the question somebody gave to the Vikings. Yeah. Like y'all went 11-0. That's unheard of. Like typically a team would go 7-4, 6-5,
right.
maybe 8-3. To go 11-0 in one score game.
That's unheard of. Yeah.
Repeat it. That's a statistic.
Hey. It's just the Vikings, man. It's just the Vikings, man.
Then they lost. Then they lost
last season. Hey, this last week won it.
Then they lost the first game in the playoffs. Then they lost
because it wasn't on prime time.
I'm still salty about that. Don't bring it up, okay? Don't bring it up. Daniel Jones exploded and got a Go ahead.
Y'all let Daniel Jones take a piss on y'all twice. Hey, question.
Go ahead.
It's about the Bears.
They wait for him to come back. It's appealed him again.
He's taken care of them a couple of times. My question about the Bears: have y'all truly taken care of your issues at the offensive line?
I believe we have for the most part. Now, Tevin Jenkins is hurt and he's not supposed to play for the first couple weeks of the season, so that is a huge concern. But I do think we're a lot deeper and a lot tougher, emphasis on tougher, because I think a lot of it, the guys just wasn't tough. I mean, you had Mustard playing center. He was a turnstile. Like, Justin was getting pressure from up the middle, from his blind side. The only side of the line that was kind of strong was Tevin Jenkins' side. So now that they got Tevin Jenkins some help on the line, and we added some guys through the draft and through free agency, I do think the offensive line will be a whole lot better. Also, with Getsy trusting Fields more, I think we can do a little more things differently offensively to kind of take some of that pressure off the line from the block so long.
My quick question, first of all, as a Steelers fan, thank you for the 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool. What will the offense look like for Justin Fields in terms of play calling, in terms of statistically, what should we look for? If I'm watching a Chicago Bears game, what type of offense should I be expecting to see?
So I kind of was paying attention to that when I actually went to see them play in person in Soldier Field. I personally think that we're going to play faster, meaning like, a lot of, no huddle, quick snaps, bubble screens, using the run game to set up the play action pass to try to utilize Mooney's speed as well as DJ Moore's, big playability as well from the wide receiver position. Also, I think that with the more intermediate routes, that's where Claypool is going to feast, I think, in the middle of the field a lot of the times is what I think. So then we're going to play fast. We're definitely going to lean on the running game because I'm not sure I think as the season goes on, I think Getsy's going to trust Fields more to throw it more. But I think early on it's going to be a lot of play action passing, bootlegging, and running the ball, running through your face type of offense. Really aggressive, really fast.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And the reason I asked this is because that's exactly what I want to see. Like, I don't want to see Justin Fields in the pocket trying to, dissect a defense, which he can do. But I think as he's learning, as he's progressing in the league, that's the type of stuff I want to see. Him running out to the bootleg, finding the bubble screens, finding the quick open receiver to, again, to your points, set up the play action pass. So good answer.
Any more questions? All right.
I was trying to look for the mute.
I was saying like you had a question.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. I was looking for the mute thing. Didn't want to come up. I think one thing, just not to bring up DJ Moore again, but his most successful season was with Cam Newton. So I think if y'all want to go back and study a little bit of that and see how they were able to operate, I think like we can be watching a top 10, top 15 offense in the league this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying? Record wise, we'll talk about that later, but just offensively, I think y'all definitely got something for sure.
Well, to kind of put something on your point, Justin Fields and DJ Moore have been like best friends all throughout camp. Like, I mean, they're taking pictures together, they're hanging out together, they're going to different ball games together. So they have the chemistry. So I'm hoping it translates to the field when the season starts.
Cool. All right. Move forward. Take it up to Motown, Detroit.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy y'all let me go last, man. The yak has really been over here working. I've been sipping and just listening, man, and everything has just been marinating, man. And I don't have to really say a lot, man, because as you heard, man, we got, Green Bay who has to kind of retool at the quarterback spot. Jordan Love is a great talent. I think he has a chance to be pretty good, but he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers immediately. We got Minnesota with Kirk Cousins again. Fantasy quarterback, top 10. That's my guy, man. Regular season, that's my guy. You want 4,000 yards, 4,500, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions? That's your guy. Win a playoff game? That ain't your guy. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, I like what y'all doing. Shout out to Ryan Poles, man. Doing a great job as the GM. He is trying to, put some talent around young Justin Fields. I think they're going to take a step forward. But again, though, I think when you look at the Detroit Lions, we are the most complete team in the division. We have aggressively addressed our needs. I think the most out of all the other teams. And when you look at what we're building upon from last year, we got better. We got better. When you look at offensively, we had a top 5 offense. We retooled at the running back position. We got Jahmyr Gibbs in there, David Montgomery. Both of those guys to me are upgrades over Swift and Jamal Williams. Also, you add a Sam Laporta to kind of, replace kind of sort of TJ Hawkinson. He was here, he was making an impact, but I don't think we used him to the extent that Minnesota used him, and we weren't going to pay him $17 million. So again, great move. Traded to my man Minnesota with Kwesi over there. Shout out to Kwesi. He's doing a good job of the GM there. He playing team ball. We done made 2 deals with him. Got a top 25 pick. Top 15 pick from him 2 years ago to get J-Mo, and got 3 picks for Hawkinson. So he playing team ball, and we love that. And we're just better. Defensively, we were terrible. As you heard, the whole division is pretty much bad except for Green Bay. But I think, again, we aggressively attacked all of our need areas. We needed help at the linebacker spot. We went out and got Jack Campbell in the draft. We needed help in the secondary. We went out and signed Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So we have just effectively attacked all of our need areas. And again, we have a young core, guys ready to take that next step. Guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys like Penei Sewell, guys like Aiden Hutchinson to kind of build upon. So I think that we're the most complete in the division. We may not have that high quality talent, that Calvin Johnson, that Ndamukong Suh Hall of Fame talent, but when those guys played, they were playing with 10 or 11 other Willie Lumps out there. Now we got some guys who are coming up and other guys who are very, very solid and have a high ceiling around them. So again, I think Detroit is crazy to say. It doesn't even feel right to say, but I think we are the team to beat in the NFC North.
I got a question for you, C. First of all, happy for you and that Kanye for kicking it with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm a big believer as we get ready to do the division, rankings. I'm a big believer of whoever I choose to pick or whoever I choose to win the division essentially has the better quarterback. Do you feel like you have the better quarterback in the division?
So here's the deal, man. It's crazy in the NFC North. We've got Jordan Love. We don't know what he's going to be. We've got Kirk the Jerk. He's steady Eddie, but never wins when you really need him to. You know what I'm saying? And we got Justin Fields, who's an up-and-comer. But again, we don't know what he's going to be. He's finally been given a receiver to offensive line. Maybe he takes a jump kind of like Jalen Hurts over in Philadelphia. But Chicago don't have no team around him. The defense is not around him, especially. So when you look at a guy like Jared Goff, steady Eddie, doesn't really jump off the page in terms of statistics, but before he even came here, he had already done things that you want your quarterback to do. Been a Pro Bowler, check. Won playoff games, check. Been to a Super Bowl, check. So I don't know if he's the best, but he's definitely the most accomplished, and he's been the furthest of anybody in this division.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So I got a question for you. So Kirk threw for, I'm looking at it. Jared Goff threw for 44.
Jerk, man. Call him right. Kirk the Jerk.
Your boy Jerry threw for 44, 38, 29, and 7, right? 99 passer rating. What about you guys' defense, though? I felt like offensively you guys are hell, right? But how are you guys going to fix the defense?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think the whole division needs to get better defensively, except for probably Green Bay. They just need to kind of get some pass rushers over there, get my boy Rashawn Gary from Michigan healthy, and they'll be okay. But again, for us, we added Aiden Hutchinson as a rookie last year, had 9.5 sacks. We had James Houston, a 7th-round pick out of Jackson State, who had 8 sacks. We drafted Jack Campbell, who was the number 1 rated linebacker coming out this year. We spent on the secondary with Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We drafted Brian Branch. So, again, every avenue that you can try to improve your team, draft, free agency, undrafted free agents, we've gone the route to try to, improve those areas. And I think that we don't have to be, if our offense can be as good as last year, we don't have to be a top-notch defense. We don't have to make that jump to top 10, top 12 defense. If we can just be top 25, that's good for 1 or 2 more games, and we can be in the playoffs. And with that being said, if our coach can be a little bit better, because he's jacked off. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. He's effed off a couple of games over his tenure here, 2 or 3 games each year. So yeah, I said the wrong thing.
Wow.
You look too comfortable.
They got too comfortable today.
It's tough,
but no, I just think that we're right there, and we just need to stay consistent. We need to stay somewhat humble. We need to stay hungry. Don't listen to the press clippings, because again, this is a situation that we're not used to being in. But we've got a great young core, a great hungry coaching staff and team, and a tremendously hungry and supportive fan base here. But we're ready.
Like I get like you saying like y'all have the most complete team, but I ain't playing revisionist history, but coming into last year, we were a Super Bowl contender. Our team was complete. A-Rod gets hurt after we start off 4-1, and then our season go down the drain. So if we bring back the majority of that team, and y'all team defense sucked, y'all did make proper adjustments. Y'all, you added your cornerbacks, you traded a cool.
We popped y'all twice, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get my question out.
With the porous defense, I'm just asking.
Correct. That is correct.
With A-Rod, right?
That is with an injured A-Rod, yes.
Okay.
Let's not act like we ain't been beating y'all.
I'm just asking. I just want to be clear what we're talking about.
We gotta give all the facts. Y'all beat us twice, but we also have to say that A-Rod had a broke thumb on his throwing hand.
We can't control that. You show up, we try to beat you. That's all we can do.
You're right.
We can't wrap your thumb. We can't put a stent on it. We can't kiss the boo-boo and make it better. We just go out and play football, baby.
Right. My point is, like you saying, y'all have the most complete team, and I feel like, well, I don't know. I feel like I really feel like no team in this division is complete. Like I feel like anybody can win it. Anybody can go 1 through 4, in my opinion. Because there's no elite quarterback. I think the Vikings have the best quarterback, but it's no complete team.
But the Vikings didn't have the best quarterback last year, though, right? And they
yes,
won,
they did.
right?
Yes, they did.
So Kirk was better than A-Rod.
Statistically speaking, no. He threw more picks. He turned the ball over more.
Yeah, A-Rod never threw. A-Rod
Kirk had a great regular season.
A-Rod, see, that's what I'm saying. You gotta. You say revisionist history, but we gotta keep it 1,000 here. A-Rod's down year, the year that you're complaining about, is a great year for a lot of other quarterbacks. A-Rod's 3,600, 28 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, which is roughly what he had. I'm just putting up an ad, but I know that's roughly what he had. That's a great year. If Justin Fields does that,
that's an average.
Chicago is jumping up for joy. Pom-poms for everybody. So just Kirk is Kirk. Kirk gonna give you 4,500 and 30 touchdowns and 11 and 12 interceptions. Again, I'm a fantasy guy. I know what he do regular season statistically. That don't make Kirk better than A-Rod. There is no world.
I'm saying
there is no in no world where I say I want Kirk Cousins to quarterback my team before A-Rod, broke thumb or not.
I agree wholeheartedly. But
so he ain't better.
We have to judge last season based on what happened last season. A-Rod's career doesn't matter when if Tom Brady
A-Rod is diminished as he was last year. And I don't, it's 8 people on this panel. We can have send a straw poll right here. I believe A-Rod diminished, broke thumb, whatever you want to call. Most of us would agree would want him more than no primetime Kirk the Jerk. My guy, fantasy guru.
I mean, it's a matter of opinion, but that's like saying, okay, if let's just say you think Derrick Henry is the best running back, and Derrick Henry breaks his foot, you can't say, well, Derrick Henry.
No. If Derrick Henry breaks his foot, he not playing.
Which he actually
that's
did.
my point.
It's
2 years ago.
Aaron played every game.
That's a broken thumb on your throwing hand.
But Aaron played again. We're the opponent, man. We can't control his thumb and if it's good or not, and if he got a sling or not. We can't do that, man.
We can agree to disagree. But
you never tell me a question though. You said y'all think y'all the most complete, and then you just left it like that.
No. I never said that I thought we was the most complete. I said you keep saying that y'all are the most complete.
I think that we can have some areas that I don't want to say flaws, but they need improvement. But again, though, I feel like out of all the 4 teams in this division, we have most actively and aggressively addressed our weak points, our weaknesses. And I think because of that, looking at where we were last year, what we did in the draft, what we did in free agency, where we are now, that we have the most complete roster. I didn't say perfect, but the most complete.
No, of course.
That's 53.
I got one more question.
Questions for the floor.
I need some tea.
I got one question. If you guys don't make the playoffs, is Matt Campbell gone, in your opinion, or do you want him to go?
So I'm gonna tell you this. I'm speaking strictly from my own personal opinion. Initial answer to your question: if we don't make the playoffs, is he gone? No. A lot of people give him a lot of grace here in Detroit. They think he's the next coming. And to be honest with you, to look at where we were a couple years ago, he's probably a year or two ahead of where he should be. We probably were looking at a team that was should have been about a 6 or 7 win team last year in terms of trajectory, kind of how we see things. We overachieved. But with that being said, if he takes a step back, and it depends on how it looks, he can't just fall off to 3-14 and we look totally crappy. Then that's a whole different conversation. But if it's an 8-9 season, we are playing a second place schedule this year. And if it's an 8-9 season and it's a very, very competitive season, and maybe there's some key injuries here and there to some key players, then he's okay. But for him to be out of here, we're talking about scandal and major fall off.
Okay.
Now, me personally, like I said, there's some areas where he can improve on. The game management, he needs improvement on. We're talking about leader event, motivation, all that good stuff. The stuff that happens Monday through Saturday, A1. But on Sunday, we need him to get a little bit better. We don't have to go to fourth all the time. We can take some points sometime. Help this defense out.
All right. Two, you on mute.
Little Mike ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't even hear you, too.
You ain't on mute. Yeah,
Small Mike ahead.
Yeah, I know mute. This is Mike. We can't hear you, bro.
Stay off the weed, man. Can I go with my question then?
Go ahead. Two, type your question in the chat. Then you gonna go.
So I've heard from all 4 of y'all, and not one of y'all has discussed, to me, one of the most important things, which is a pass rush. I believe the Lions have the best pass rush in the division. Seahan, do you agree? Where would you rank your pass rushing in regards to just this division? We don't have to talk about the top division, 10, top 15.
This division, I try to be as objective as possible, and I said that Green Bay probably has the most complete defense in the division when healthy. Rashawn Gary is a heck of a pass rusher. I don't know who's going to. I think it's Preston Smith now opposite of him. Those are 2 very seasoned guys. If we're talking top talent, 2 talents, maybe they have them. But when we're talking about depth, when we're talking about 4 guys, 3 or 4 guys who can come at you and rush the passer continuously from that edge portion, I think we have the advantage there. I think that when you look at Green Bay with some of their interior players, they may be to create a little bit more push from their interior guys. But overall, again, if we're talking about stopping the run and rushing the passer, very, very slight edge to us, Detroit Lions.
I would disagree. I would give the slight edge to us. We have Rashawn Gary coming back from.
What I just come back to? Oh my goodness.
He they said he gonna play on a pitch count week 1. We got Preston Smith. We got JJ Enigbare, South Carolina.
Who? What he do?
He barking.
You name him. Now you got it. Now you know we don't know him. I mean, what he do?
He had 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery last week.
I'm just in the comments.
Last week, preseason game.
You gotta start somewhere.
Oh, you just drafted?
No, he played last year.
What did he do last year? Let's talk about that stat line.
He didn't really do too much in that. He was in the rotation.
That's why we ain't know. If you ain't on the stat sheet, we ain't gonna never know your name. You can't get a hurry. You can't get a plus. You put a pass. You can't get a finger on the quarterback. We ain't gonna never know your name, sir.
We drafted one first round. Last time we drafted.
He was the first round pick. His name who? Lucas
Van Ness from Al.
Oh, this year.
Yeah.
Now what did he do at Al? What did he do?
He did something. He was
seven sacks, right?
First round pick.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, we know about it.
You might not put up the best numbers, but we see the traits. You get what I'm saying? So
I like the back 7 for Green Bay, but I would give us the edge on the front end.
Gotcha.
But we got to show it though. I don't care what nobody. You know what I'm saying? We can't just talk it. We got to walk it, and that's the key.
Most definitely.
Key.
I know we all ready to get to these predictions, but I do need to ask because I'm a numbers guy, see here, and that's what I was saying. Of course, you a numbers guy. So real quick, Jared Goff was 40 yards away from cracking the top 10. Could he crack it this year?
You know what? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's to me statistically, it's really, really not important what he does as long as he manages this offense. I mean, he's a game manager extraordinaire, if you will. If he can continuously just keep the chains moving, play within himself, play within this offense, and be consistent, that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? If we're talking about, since some fantasy or something and where he's at and what he's actually doing, whatever, because it's subjective. If he goes out there and throws 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns and have 10 interceptions, and when we win 12 games, I'm very, very happy with that. I don't know if that's top 10, but I'm happy with the results. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. And speaking of throwing the ball, last one, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was 30 yards from top 10. He's good. Did he get that? He top 10?
He gonna get it. He gonna get it. He works hard. Right. And to be honest with you, if we could meld his mindset and work ethic with Jameson Williams' physical attributes, we'll have something.
That's a fact.
So, and again, we're doing this offensively with a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of toughness in the trenches, a lot of running the ball. If we get J-Mo to step up and do something, it could be special.
All right, let's get to it, man. I'll tell you now, this is the toughest division to pick because I just switched around this order about 5 times. Started. So we're gonna start. We're gonna just start from the bottom. Start C-Hen, Will, Tarvis, Justin, back up to me too.
Oh, I don't like starting from the bottom, man. But since we started with me, since you stayed,
y'all used to be
the best for first.
They won the preseason award. They're the best team in the preseason. Games ain't started yet though.
I'm gonna say this. I like what every team did. I think every team is improved. I will say where Green Bay was, they had a couple of 13 and 4 years back to back. I think they're taking a little bit of a step back a little bit. Minnesota again, 11-0. in those one-score games. Defense is bad. I love that they got Brian Flores, but sometimes it ain't about the X's and O's. It's about the Jims and the Joes, and he ain't going out there tackling nobody. And they lost a lot on that defense. So I think they take a little bit of a step back. I think we take a step up again. 9-8 last year. Our coach cost us at least 2 games. We got better. I feel like we can definitely get to 11 games in the division and win the division with 11 games, 11-6 record. I think it's going to be a battle for those next spots. But I do think Minnesota probably comes in second, probably at 10-7. And then I think that Green Bay is going to be right there at a competitive 9-8. I think we're going to really, really compete hard. I think Chicago is going to probably be right there, 8-9, 7-10, but a very, very competitive team. So very, very competitive division, and basically 1 or 2 games, 2 or 3 games, basically separating the top from the third place team.
Will.
Like I said earlier, when I was kind of going over everything, as far as my season preview for the Bears, I personally believe the floor for the team is 7 wins. I think anything below 7 is a complete failure of a season. I hope that we get to 10 plus. I think being realistic and realistically speaking, 10 wins will win the division. Whoever gets to 10 is going to win the division. I feel like I don't think we'll have a multi 10-win teams. So I mean, you may have one go 10, one go 9, and the rest go between 8 and 7 is what I believe. But I think we're going to go 7-10 this year. I really truly believe that competitive 7-10.
What you got for the rest of the ranking, like your division order?
I would go, if I'm throwing my fandom out the window, I would go Detroit number 1. The only reason why I think they're going to edge Minnesota out is because they're defensively, I think, a little bit better on paper than the Vikings are. I think the Vikings got the talent they have is old, and I love Harrison Smith. He's a hell of a football player, but I just think the parts around him, they aren't really there. Daniil Hunter is very good, but he's going to get a lot of attention unless one of those young guys kind of step up and take the pressure off him. So I think I got Detroit 1, Minnesota 2, us 3rd, and Green Bay last. The only reason why I have Green Bay last is because I'm not sure we're going to get from Jordan Love. If Jordan Love played any type of respectable football, they damn near might win the division. Because on paper, they got the best defense in the entire division, in my opinion. And that's hard for me to admit as a Bears fan, lifelong Bears fan. But I got to give respect where respect's due. I think defensively, the Green Bay Packers are top notch, but their offense might be inept, and that's going to really hurt their defense if the offense can't score.
Tarvis.
Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying I think that we'll win the division, and the only reason I say that is because if you just check the track record with these play callers, like I said, it's all in the same Shanahan tree. Shanahan, McVay. Even if Jordan Love is just a game manager, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see a real scenario where we don't win at minimum 8 games. So if he's okay, this 9-10. If he's good, maybe 12, 13. But I say we come in first, Packers first. I'm gonna say Lions second, Vikings third, and Burrows last. I think that the Burrows are like a clear notch below everybody until we see Justin Fields prove it. I get that he didn't have any receivers and things like that, but we still got to see it. So I'm gonna go us at like 10-7, Lions probably 10-7, but maybe we get some kind of division tiebreaker. Vikings 9-8, Burrows 6-11.
Right. Just
Great points by everybody. It's going to be a really tough division because anybody could win this division. The Vikings and the Lions is going to be really competitive this year in terms of who's going to win the division. I still say the Vikings probably still going to win that division, but it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say Vikings probably be 11-6. The Lions will definitely come in second. They got a really good team. I'm just kind of questioning. I don't know how they're going to be. I mean, they had that. They won 8 or 9 straight last year. I don't know, because there's going to be a lot of expectations this year for the Lions, especially coming on Thursday night against the reigning defending champs and the Kansas City Chiefs. So I say the Lions will probably be 10-7. I've been kind of going back and forth with Chicago and Green Bay. Chicago, I could see them going 7-10. And then the Green Bay Packers, like the only question I have is just the quarterback, how good Jordan Love's really going to be. Says he's going to be starting fully now. So I'd probably say they'll 7-10 too as well. So, but Vikings, then Lions, then Chicago, and Green Bay.
Yeah, this is a tough division. So I think this is my final order. So I'm gonna go with it. And the my explanations after I say it. First, I got the Lions winning, followed by the Packers, then the Bears, then the Vikings. I believe this division would be. I believe everybody in the division would be separated by. This is like the Western Conference of the NBA.
Yes, yes,
basically NFL style. Like I think it's gonna be like everybody. The 1 through 4 can be separated by one game, potentially maybe 2.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings. I just noticed Kirk Cousins is a free agent next year. I think y'all. This is gonna be y'all move on from him after this season. That's why I picked y'all that 11-0 one-score games. It's gonna come back to bite y'all. I don't believe in your defense and the primetime games. I haven't seen y'all schedule, but I'm pretty sure y'all have quite a bit of primetime games or along those lines because of y'all record last year. And I just believe this is it, and y'all gonna be moving on from them next year. I got the Bears taking a step up. I think Justin Fields takes the next step, but the defense is going to hold y'all back from truly winning the division, making playoffs. Packers, I almost had y'all winning the division because I do believe y'all have the most complete team. Well, y'all defense is just that good, and I'm a big believer in Jordan Love. But as much as we get on Jared Goff, and I'm not just a huge fan of Jared Goff, but I've seen him make the Super Bowl. The Rams had a good defense, but I've seen him make the Super Bowl. I've seen him win the playoffs when it mattered, and he had a really good year last year. So I have a big belief that the Lions have this aura around them that they're gonna make it happen this year and win the division.
Sharky, you literally just made me change because I knew that I felt like Kirk Cousins and everybody, I feel like the Vikings kind of reached their peak per se with the roster that they've had so far with Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, like you said, he pauses in, the big moments, and we've been saying it for the longest, even though, it's up for me to say that, and I rock with him. And like you said, I didn't know that actually he was going to be a free agent next year. So I literally just was like, damn, I didn't know that. And for me to have those feelings, like I kind of got to move the Vikings down. But you know what I'm saying? In order to come back up, you got to take a step back. And we could, like you said, be saying that with the Vikings. So I say that to say that I do have the Vikings last, but not because they're going to lose game. It's just going to be because this conference is honestly that good.
Yeah.
It's going to be, if not good, competitive as hell. So I got Minnesota around about 7-8 wins. I got the Packers about the same, to be honest with you. Like, it's gonna be, I got this division really being tough. I got the Packers being the same. We got to see Jordan Love. Either, like you said, they can win the division or they can be worse. It just depends on what Jordan Love can do. And because we haven't seen him, I can't really say it. But I do think because of that defense, they can have a better year than Minnesota because they are really established running the game and the defense. And like I said, it is a recipe to win in the past, but still coming into this future NFL, can we see it with Jordan Love, who we haven't seen yet? So the Packers, I got Chicago right above them as well, around the 8-9 mark. Again, I do think they would take a step up. I don't expect them to be in the playoffs per se, but I do expect them to, like I say, Justin Fields got a playmaker with DJ Moore, and I think that's going to cover up a lot of things. He's durable, so he's going to play damn near every game. And I think that because y'all defense know that they were piss poor lackluster, I think they'll step it up at least a notch. And if they do that just a notch, they can get that second place or at least be tied, second, third. But I do have the Lions. See, you want line when you said y'all were the most complete team. I think y'all are the most complete team, in the division. Of course, y'all lost to y'all boy. What was the running back Jamal Williams last year? But you went and got Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, who is like Montgomery gonna run the damn thing even if the rook came. So it's like y'all still right there as far, and then y'all completed y'all weaknesses, and y'all just really literally did come over and really take the division by storm. So I got y'all winning the division with at least 10 games.
Oh man. Starting the bottom. Last place I think will be the Chicago Bears. something to be upset about, though, to be honest. They just need a lot of help. I believe they do win at least 6 games for sure. After 4th place, though, I was kind of juggling teams too, but one team I'm not going to juggle with to win the division actually is going to be the Detroit Lions. I believe the Detroit Lions will win the division. I got them winning the division. I see him when you came on the show and talked to us last year, and they should have made the playoffs, but they didn't. I was already kind of sold on Detroit coming through this upcoming season, and they've established themselves a little bit better for me. My issue comes in who I got 2nd and 3rd. And I just don't know, am I going to get Jordan Love or Jordan Poole at quarterback? And so that's my question. If I'm gonna be Frank Lucas about it, that's my question. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take. Golly, I'm still lost, fellas. I'll take the Packers at 2 and the Vikings at 3.
What? Because what, bro? Okay, now I got oh, that's tough. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, whenever I do rankings for a particular division, I'm always going to look at who has the better quarterback. And because Kirk Cousins, although he be good or really good or maybe top of or in the topper half of the league when it comes to regular season quarterbacks, I still think that I probably trust Jared Goff in this particular moment. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to win the division. Seahan talked about adding C.J. Gardner-Johnson, adding Cam Sutton, who I got a bit of a history with Cam Sutton because, of course, he came from Pittsburgh. And so knowing that what type of corner he is, knowing that what C.J. Gardner-Johnson did in Philly, I think that secured that back half of their defense, which was a weakness for them last year. So I'm going to go with them to win the division. I'm going to skip down to 4 because I'm still struggling with 2nd and 3rd. So I'm going to put Chicago in 4th only because that offensive line was really terrible last year. And so even the preseason games that I've seen, or at least from what I've seen, that offensive line still does not look that competent enough for me to say they're going to do a good enough job of protecting Justin Fields. And so that, along with the question marks that defense has me putting them in 4th. I think I've made up my mind to say that I'll go with Minnesota at 2 only because I don't know what Jordan Love is. Because I don't know what Jordan Love is and is going to be. I'm going to put Green Bay at 3rd because that's like they have the better defense. In my opinion, hands in, all complete. They have the better defense in the division. I just don't know what the quarterback looks like. And in a time where offense is going to win you games. Like defense used to win games all the time, but like now it's a passing league. And if you don't have the good quarterback, you're just naturally just not going to win in this league. That's what it is. And so because I don't trust Jordan Love, I'll put them at 3 and then I'll put Minnesota at 2.
All right. You know how wild this division was. At one point, I had Minnesota winning the division on the same episode about an hour ago. Now you know them in last place. That's how close this jump is.
What's wild is even like this a football podcast, and you got your boy over here talking about Jordan Poole and shit. Like I got to see him.
I mean, we talk basketball on here too, though. We just taking the break.
The whole NFC North. Come on, man.
I was just bringing up a point of clarity. That's all.
Hey.
But anyway, man, that does it for the episode. Appreciate all y'all coming on. So starting with C-Hen, let the people know where they can follow you and follow your work.
Man, always a pleasure, man. Thank you guys for having me. I enjoy your content, man. And even you guys' personal content, man. Enjoying you guys' journey as grown men, husbands, fathers, all that good stuff, man. And even the old head like myself, I can learn stuff from you young brothers, man. So definitely, man, enjoying you guys. But definitely follow me, man. Follow me at CHen313 on X or Twitter, wherever we call it. I'm calling it Twix. So, follow me there. And make sure that you also Subscribe to my show, The Fellas Presents Sports Rap, located the podcast located on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Definitely check me out, man. I would love to, you know what I'm saying, come back again. And I'm going to make sure I follow all you guys, man, from these other NFC North teams, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
It's crazy.
Will.
You can follow me on my Instagram below. It's the same thing on Twitter /X or Twitter X or Twix, like we call it now, I guess. Mr. Matthews _1. Appreciate you guys for having me. This was a blast. I had an amazing time. It was also nice meeting you fellas. Good luck to your teams this season. You know, y'all gonna be frustrated and happy all season long with the growing pains and everything. So I had a hell of a time, guys. Thank you for having me. I love to be back sometime.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you being able to come on. Tarvis.
Appreciate it. I just want to say appreciate y'all having me. You know, I think we're gonna do good things, man. You know, go Pack, go. Y'all can follow me Twitter, Instagram, King Tarvis, just King Tarvis, you know, something simple, nothing crazy. But appreciate y'all having me, man. Good luck to y'all, you know, the rest of y'all teams, and hopefully we have a competitive year. And like I said, thank y'all for having me on the podcast. I appreciate it.
So, and Justin.
Hey, thank y'all for having me. Like I said, I respect y'all's content and love the guests that's on here. I definitely will follow all of y'all. Y'all do amazing content, so shout out to y'all. Y'all can find me on YouTube. It's just JP with a Z. I'm a basketball guy, so you know you see this in the back. So I do basketball reaction videos and basketball content too as well. I've been on my Larry Bird heavily this month, and a lot of great views on that. And then you can follow me on Twitter, JP Franchise 57. I do Hoop Spaces Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on the AMP, hosted by Chris Barrett. So you can catch me on there, commenting or just talking about the NBA in general. And follow me on TikTok, Justin Paden 57. I'll be on there too as well.
For sure. The YouTube goat right there, man. It's just JP. All right, man. As always, y'all know y'all can follow us on Twix. I love that name. What we gonna call it? Twix.
I love it. There we go. There we go.
Leave it to the niggas to completely change the name of the app.
I need to get some candy now. So.
I was gonna be a true Chicago. We've been calling the Sears Tower for my entire life. It's gonna be Twitter. That's just how it is with me, man. It's always gonna be Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, of course, follow us on Twix, LBR_media. Also TikTok, IG, and Facebook, or mostly IG and Facebook. IG and TikTok, where you see all the small clips I post in this episode throughout the week at LBR_media. Also subscribe, watch live on YouTube, or watch afterward. You can watch any given time, any given moment afterward at Let's Be Real Media, and subscribe to us in the podcast platform if you prefer audio, Spotify, Google, Apple, you name it, and Let's Be Real Sports. Also remember to continue to support us and our sponsors at BetStamp, and I just do sponsor SeatGeek. So yeah, check us out anywhere, any given place. Also follow me, you know, the one DAONE_P Shark on Twix and Instagram.
Yeah, we would have changed the whole thing.
Right. I guess I'll just follow the trend. Follow me on Twix at _Scott Later. Hey, shout out to Deion Sanders and shout out to Shakari Richardson as well. Big props to both of them.
Y'all want to go?
No, it's not defeated, but you know.
Trevor gone.
Yeah, the art of
Trevor.
And the heart. But anyways, first of all, Cian, thanks for Mozzie. We needed him. We need him with the Cowboys. And me and you need to talk again, you know, come November. You know what's happening. But follow me. It's really Sheedy, man, on Twix. And I'll just leave it like that.
Speaking of Sheedy, we the fun of him tomorrow, but make sure y'all follow me at Tev Shakir. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate all y'all for real for coming through and talking about your teams and being good contenders, man. Content creators, man. We're gonna keep this going. Good luck. And may the force be with you. Unless y'all going against the Panthers.
When I hear that beat, when I be listening to all my content on Spotify, and I hear dun 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 dun, I say, okay, Okay. I love it, dog. I love it. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Appreciate it. And before I end off, the last show I had an interview with Teron Davenport, ESPN Nation reporter for the Tennessee Titans. So definitely check that out. It's on YouTube, Let's Be Real Media, and also the same thing on our podcast platforms, Let's Be Real Sports. So check that out. We're going to do a poll about who was like the most trash talking in this division when we get done with this, fellas, because we got some good ones the last couple of weeks.
Somebody's
mouth. I like
it. He took cash though.
Yeah. And Sheedy or Took said it earlier. Follow our fifth member who was able to make it today. Hope he gets feels better soon. Trevor at the Art of Trevor on IG and Twix. But till next time, fellas, well, we'll be a little off schedule. We're going live this Wednesday instead of next Sunday because NFL season starts next Sunday. So we're off next Sunday. We're chilling, finishing off NFC West this Wednesday. Then we'll be back to talking a little bit basketball when we return on the 17th. So till next time, peace.
Be easy.